If you would like a free newsletter on this or other subjects, just give us a call at Christian Answers. The phone number is area code 512-218-8022. That's 512-218-8022. Or you could email us at cdebater@aol.com. That's cdebater@aol.com. Thank you.
The incident that happened was October 28, 2001. 5 masked gunmen with bags of guns and bullets, AK-47, rushed into St. Dominic's Church and opened fire on 60 to 100 worshippers, murdering 16 people and screaming graveyard of Christian and Pakistan and Afghanistan. This is just a start. That's what they were saying while they were shooting the innocent children, men and women. And they said, Allahu Akbar, God is great. And they were saying that, trying to pronounce that as if they're doing a good act towards God.
You're doing
Allahu
God
Akbar.
a favor.
Yes, Allahu Akbar, that's what they meant. They're doing God a favor. And 4 children, 4 women, and 8 men were slain in attack, including the pastor by name Emmanuel and Muslim police officer Muhammad Saleem. On the bullet-riddled wall was above the bodies. A biblical epitaph was painted in red. We want peace, order, and harmony. So this is what they're doing in Pakistan. I can read to you how they have persecuted young women and men, how they have beaten them up, stripped them naked, the women, and taken, shaved their heads, because they just accused them for something which they were not, they did not even commit the crime.
Now, you were there for 33 years. You're mentioning, and you just got pages and pages and pages of these kinds of examples, some of which we've heard of in the news and some we haven't. But from your personal experience and from your own family ties there, you still have family in Pakistan, right?
Yes, do. Yes.
Yes. Have you ever experienced personally from your family any violence that may have ended up in the death of somebody based on this Islamic persecution?
Yeah, recently one of my family members has been murdered brutally. And his body was mutilated, his neck was cut, and the dagger was put in his heart. There was a big hole in his heart, and belly was cut, and all the intestines were thrown out of his stomach, and his body was thrown in a storage room where my younger brother found after 24 hours of his murder. This is personal persecution that I have experienced in my own life very recently, and I can imagine the pains of all those who have lost in Bahawalpur and Sialkot and Peshawar and Mardan and all over the Pakistan areas where Muslims persecute poor Christians. Sometimes they're not even at fault. Most of the time they're not at fault. It's just because they want to prove their point that either you become Muslim or you suffer these consequences.
So you're saying in this case where you lost a personal family member, it was mainly because the Muslims killed him because he was a Christian.
Yes.
And they wanted him to convert?
No, it's because he was doing good for the poor Muslims there. And they interpreted as if he was trying to convert them, which he did not. For so many years he was helping the poor and outcast of the country, which were Muslims, not Christians.
And they construed that as a threat because he's helping people.
Yes.
And they're thinking, okay, he's helping these poor folks, and they're going to convert to Christianity because of his example.
Yes.
And so they felt they better do God a favor by killing them off.
Because he's an infidel and is doing something against Islam.
And now, do you have any other personal examples of maybe relatives that might have been affected by this?
Well, my wife's cousin a couple of years ago was brutally murdered. They could not find his body for 5 days. Young man, in 20s, I think. His body was cut into pieces. I don't know how many pieces, I don't even remember. And put in a plastic bag and thrown in a garbage dumpster. And they kept looking and looking, and one day somebody said there's some body found, and they went and looked, and it was him, because the way they recognized him was his tooth was broken, and that's how they found out that it was him after 5 days. So my wife's side, they have lost a cousin who was brutally murdered. His own brother was shot some time ago in the stomach. He was beaten up so many times because he was trying to protect the Christian youth. And it's anytime something happens, his brother is taken to the jail. And they ask money. They lost, my wife has lost their homes, all the bank money, they had a car at home. The whole family is distorted. The father died because of the pains, that all that money that he made, and he lost in this because the police brutality. Because police comes and picks this guy up and say, okay, now you are culprit, because since you are part of the gang, they involve him in some kind of gang, is to make money out of you, because that's another thing that they do to the Christians. They catch them and take them to the police station, beat them up, and then they demand money from the parents. And because they love the children so much, the parents have to borrow money or sell whatever they have, give the money to the police so that they can have their child back. Mm-hmm. And my wife has suffered so much, just like me.
Man, it's hard to imagine from over here where we're talking right now, this kind of persecution is going on. Because when we watch the news, and even what I'm hearing now, it's almost like a mantra. Islam is peace. I hear it from the politicians. Mm-hmm. I hear it from different religious leaders. I hear Islam is peace, and we're loving people, and all these types of things. But it doesn't sound like that from what you're telling me here from a personal perspective of Pakistan. It sounds like it's almost the exact opposite of peace. I'm starting to wonder if Islam is peace, it's only peace for someone who's a Muslim. If you're not a Muslim, you're going to get no peace until you become a Muslim.
To add to that brutality, and I was talking to my brother-in-law one time, and he was telling me how he was treated while he was in the custody, and he was telling me they put him on ice and beat him up. They hang him and beat him up, or they put some kind of jalapeno in his butt, just to torture him and ask him to say yes, he has done those crimes, so that they can make money. So these kind of things they go through. I mean, this is the truth. I don't want. It hurts me to speak about it, because what he told me, what he went through. And what my brother told me, my younger brother, when he saw my brother's body, I feel like crying. How brutal these people are. Just because you are Christian and you're powerless and you have no political strength and you have no economic strength that you can fight with these Muslim groups or organizations or individuals in this case.
Please contact Christian Answers for free information on numerous subjects, important subjects such as the biblical doctrine of the Godhead, the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. To see full-length videos on these and other subjects, go to Yahoo Video, type Larry Wessels into the search box, and click on the icon for I Shoot Video 2.